training workshop we are doing since last year. And we came up with this idea because we saw the need that we need to have the right people with the right capacity and skills in office to address the issue of service delivery. We have devolution in place, we have the county government in place, but I think the most important resource is the human resource. If we don't have the right human resource, then we might not really be able to achieve what we want to achieve in devolution. So we are having this series of trainings for county leaders and county officers to give them the right skills and capacity to be able to perform better, to be able to deliver more in terms of service delivery, but most important to be able to understand their roles and responsibility.
I came in very early because I wanted to catch up with what you did yesterday, and I was told yesterday was even greater. Yeah? So that was nice. Can you remind me what it was?
I learned that diverse perspectives are very critical, and actually we are supposed to cultivate diverse perspectives and encourage them to be expressed by each individual in a team so that we can be able to be initiators and movers and come up with ideas and maintain an ideal momentum.
I think this is good and very good feedback that I highly appreciate. Today we have what we like to do. I mean, the key thing today is lesson sharing and learning, isn't it? And this time we have been hearing from others. This time we want to do it within ourselves, isn't it? Today we want to be doing for us something very small. We've just agreed that 10-15 minutes so that we pick as much as we can in terms of methodology, isn't it? We are looking for different things and so on. So he's going to do this transformation leadership through mentoring and coaching, isn't it? That's what he wants to do. You have the floor.
To say something like, how do we go about it? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I want to just share with you one or two things that you may also remember when you go home. Maybe you give me a call. One of them that I listened to yesterday, and you didn't say, is that we agreed that you are firstborns in the devolution process. You are firstborns, aren't you? Yeah. So the history of society tells us very clearly that there are very few firstborns that end up having that journey that is very, very enjoyable. Most of the firstborns struggle, and finally nobody thinks they have done anything good, and they end up going out of the world without looking like they have been able to achieve much. I want to say that as we discuss here, that you can only improve in small steps. In what? Small steps. Steps that go through a process we call PCD. No, PCA. Plan, do, check, then act. With this small step approach, you can only do it through a process we call mentor coaching. Are we together? The mentor coaching process addresses three areas. One of them is attitude and caution. You need to address attitude and caution in your working environments, and then you look at the structures that you have. Those of you who have bloated wages and other things, that's the structure. Then you have got the strategies, those things that you want to do. And yesterday I talked about Lot asking God to allow him to go to the nearest point because he could not reach where? The mountains. You get? And God was bringing the rains, and the rains was sulfur that was going to rain on Sodom and Gomorrah. What we meant here is that you can change your strategies anytime. If you discover your own work, you are not likely to achieve them because they are either too ambitious or not achievable. I note today that we have a book on values. Please take care of that book.
and go and read it very well from Guy, who has been a member of our board here. Most of the things that are happening and giving us problems is because the values are wrong, isn't it? You want to enrich yourself at all costs against a whole county. Are we together? If you had the right values, all you need is a small car, all you need is a small house, all you need is what? Food to eat at one place for that matter. Do you need all that material, all that wealth? Do you need it? You don't need it. But the wrong values have driven us to do wrong things, isn't it? So we really want to share that the issue of attitude and culture is about values. And the values will be based on how we separate these facts. And therefore, we need to really, like now, the position of the boards is to make sure that you develop manuals that help to change the attitude and the culture position of the working force. When people are working together, there is always possibilities of conflicts. It may be easy to hear today. And what you need to do is to remember that if people are working together, they are not able to have an opportunity to forgive one another. Forgive one another. It's very simple. It is not necessarily a biblical approach, but we call it grace. If you look at the word grace defined, according to the Greek dictionary, it is about being able to say sorry to somebody and also to be able to say, I also forgive you for what you have done to me. That is a major area in any working environment. There is two, what we call discipline. These things were put in perspective initially, but in a different way. Discipline does not mean punishing people. Discipline means retraining, re-engineering, reviewing, where people are not able to do well. You retrain them, you re-engineer them. I worked with East African industries. We served almost everybody, but we never got very far because we did not follow discipline properly. BAT, same, brewery, that was about 1990s. We lost business because we were not able to follow the second level of discipline. We sacked everybody because we thought by sacking them and bringing others, you get profits. And we were not able to do that. The third one is about unity, which is about teams. If the teams you are given here and given notes on are not alive and vibrant, you will not get it. You get a big challenge of trying to reorganize, re-energize, and even in giving the higher salaries. Teams must be able to work together. What we call confidence. Confidence, in a simple mental quotient interpretation, means you are expected to have, if you have no faith in yourself, nor the organization, if people don't believe in themselves, they will not get it. Everybody must have a buy-in. They must be part of the process of the organization, so that they are focusing together and the strategies, reviews are working for all of us. And that is a very important thing. Now the third one is about leadership. What we are saying about leadership is that I know we were given here, but the leadership in a nutshell, from a mental coach approach, we have 4 categories of leadership. One is commander type. I say it has to happen. I say it has to happen. What do you have? You make people just don't do anything without your instructions. The second one is hero type, where it is because I was there, it could not happen. It has worked well, but it is me, finally. The third one is called the teacher type, where you keep telling people, okay, this is it. As they leave the door, you are telling them, no, come back. Remember, and before you finish, call me Teacher Ted. So I've said Commander, Hero, Teacher Ted. You believe people cannot do anything without your making. And they must call you when they're in the middle of it. Yet you have discussed the plan, the decisions, and this happens with all of us, especially from our colonial education system, where you have a supervisor, a boss who must approve whatever you do. Then obviously there is the final one, which is the facility. That is the transformational type of management, where you discuss with your people, agree on what they're going to do, and then you tell them, go. Don't come back here. If there's a problem, just call me, and then let us agree on what you need to do, but you should go and handle it. I've given you the mandate, and you lead the rest. What kind of leader are you?
Just trying to see how we can locate ourselves. And it's not bad.
I'm a developer.
You think you're a developer? Mom and Eda Maramoja.
In the next session, we want to work in groups. So I would like just to confirm the numbers that are in the house so that we can then decide how we mix ourselves. Muranga team, if you are from Muranga, would you want to stand up so we can count the numbers? So Muranga, I think, constitutes a team, isn't it? So Muranga would be the first team. That one is good enough. Because we have a few orphans in the house. Yeah. So could we have this table for Muranga? If the Muranga people could come here, where you have majority, the rest can go there. Let's move. Go to your team. Go to your team.
Now we are coming to the last leg of our session here. I think we've been up for the last 3 days, and we are happy that the chairman of Transition Authority has been able to join us. But just to say that, Mr. Chairman, that we've had very productive sessions since Wednesday. We've had a lot of things to learn and to share with each other. Actually, this morning was specifically for sharing lessons, experiences, challenges, and many other things. And before this, yesterday and the other day, we had very good facilitators take us through various subtopics. And I can tell you for sure that from my interaction with participants since they came on Wednesday, they are convinced and are satisfied that they've gotten value for their trouble to travel all the way to Nairobi. So as CARA, in collaboration with our sister organization, DEGONSA, we are keen to play our part, because at the end of the day, the essence of CARA being in place is to ensure that people have access to proper and good standard of service delivery. So we are keen to give a contribution to that effect, and we are glad that we've gotten enough support, in fact more than enough support, from the Transition Authority. So without taking much time, ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Mr. Kinuthia Wamwangi to come and address us, and of course engage us in a number of issues. And thereafter we'll give you the next step. Thank you.
Thank you, Henry. Thank you, Treasurer, Mr. Kanake, Mr. Ngevi. I understand the speaker here. Honorable members of the Assembly and the executive from the counties, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. By transferring power, functions, and we have talked about agriculture, livestock, fisheries, primary education, nursery education, and many others. Having done that, then you have given the money to run those functions and the power and authority. So the primary basis of growth, is already established because you have provided the critical factors of growth and the critical factors of economy. That is why, as Mwai Kibaki was campaigning for the new constitution, he said, unless this devolution goes through, we shall not be able to achieve Vision 2030. And Vision 2030 is about growth that will take us from the third world economy, into a first world economy. And because we have now transferred the functions that have the service delivery aspect, if we do it right, then we shall be achieving this thing of Vision 2030 through the counties. One of the things that we now have is ICDP, Integrated County Development Plan. What is the purpose of ICDP? It is to collate every aspect of development that may exist within a county, and we plan it over a period of 5 years. Now what we are insisting at the TA is that even CDF projects cannot exist in isolation. They must be built into the ICDP. Because you are not going to come and build a health center which is a function of the county, and you say nimewapatia hospitali without telling us where you will get the staff for that and the recurrent cost. So if you come and you convince us that you need, as an MP, to put a hospital or a health center, and we agree, and then when we are planning, when we are budgeting, we shall budget to stock that with medicine and to bring the staff. So civic education is what we are lacking, and that's what we need to educate people, to give them this capacity which we are receiving here, and we must enable and work collaboratively with Henry and other cohorts of the civil society. Henry, we don't need to reinvent the wheel, because we have already finished preparing the capacity building framework, which is now part of Government Ministry of Devolution's strategic thrusts, and now we have finished the program for civic education. So we just lift from the shelf and contextualize it, not in any other way, because it's meant for the public of Kenya and is vetted by the government of Kenya. Right now, we are taking inventories. We have started in the inventories of former local authorities, and surprisingly, we didn't know that the former local controlled so much resources. We have already come across 140 billion worth of assets belonging to the former county governments, which are going to be absorbed into the counties. And of course, they also have liabilities. It's about 60 billion. We shall go to the counties on 25th to 29th to explain this to the wananchi. And if you go back and you know anybody who has stolen any piece of asset, please let us know, and we are going to recover it to add more to those assets. We think that we shall be able to recover 2 billion worth of assets through the public participation that's going to. The national values and principles of governance include patriotism, national unity, sharing and devolution of power, the rule of law, democracy, and participation of the people. Also, it involves human dignity, equity, social justice, inclusiveness, equality, human rights, non-discrimination, and protection of the marginalized. It also includes, and this is critical, good governance, integrity, transparency, and accountability. And that should be our focus now. Because we have the institutions in place, let us now endeavor to entrench these values. So having said that, it's now my great pleasure to declare this workshop officially closed. Thank you and God bless you.
Why is the chair? Let us give him another. I think the chair of TA has done many things. He's given us the roadmap where they moved as an organization, but he has also come and emphasized the importance of this workshop. I thought that was great. He has given both the tactical and content, things that this training could take. For example, I thought one of the key things around making sure that you have a serious modules of this training that reach everybody, in a standard manner, so that information is not distorted along the line. He has also challenged us to look and see whether we are the same or we are different. And then I would want to add that if we are different, then it will be now useful to say, what methodology are you going to use to share the information, isn't it? Because we did something about sharing and learning lessons and so on. Now, what I'm sure you would like to do is to ask him a few questions, isn't it?
We have been having problems with medical officers or the people in the health department, as you have also pointed out. That posting order had a lot of hue and cry, which I'm very sure it reached you. And among the main reasons why people were complaining about it, one of the reasons is that some medical officers were posted to other areas other than their counties. And at the same time, their counties have deficit of the medical officers which they requested from the transitional authority. For example, a county requested 12 medical officers. 4 have been posted to that particular county, while maybe 2 or 3 or 1 who is a resident of that county has been posted to another county. While we know there have been these issues of people wanting to transfer from where they are working to their home counties. And sometimes people cite issues of insecurity, issues of family, very many other issues. So what criteria did you consider to post medical officers to different counties from their counties of origin?
If you ask for 12 medical officers, 12, and have only 300 medical officers to transfer, to post, and some have nothing, have no medical officer like we have had. Others have 6, others have whatever. If you are me, would you post for everybody, post what they need, or you do it proportionately according to the need? So, madam, thank yourself that at least you got some medical officers, even if you only transferred 4 or 5.
You gave an interpretation of how to handle in the scenario of removal of a board member. Will that apply in the county sport as well?
Thank you very much. Said you are Halima?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Halima. Are you able to write me a letter, or your speaker or yourself, write to the TA chairman a letter to ask the same question? Because if you write, it will become something now becomes a focus, and we shall give it full legal interpretation, including collaborating with others to get the right interpretation. Yes.
I see her shaking her head saying yes.
Yes.
That she will write before she leaves.
Yes. And I'm here. You can give it to Dr. Kagiri, and it will be given the right attention. And don't be afraid, don't be ashamed to ask a question, because TA operates on feedback. If you don't give us feedback, we shall never know what's not working. And you know our responsibility is to ensure and to facilitate a smooth transition into a devolved system. I hope the government now will see the genius and reward the genius by giving us the money that we need. Thank you.
Let's appreciate the chair. Thank you very much. Now, it was a training course, a three-day training course, and in the course we normally have some people who just left on the job. So the next session is going to be very sad for some people because they will not get their certificates, while those who were doing their work very nicely, they are going to be given their certificate very shortly. And for this to happen, I would like to ask Henry to come and take us rather rapidly in this session, and the chair to remain strong, because he's going to play some role in ensuring that those who passed, only those who passed, will get their certificate. Henry, let's welcome Henry again back.
So thank you very much, Wanagavi, for that. Like Agavi has said that everybody who participated in this training has passed, and so we are going to issue certificates. So I'm going to call out the names, and then you come, and I'll request Chairman, Mr. Wamwangi, just to come in front to issue certificates.
It has given us skills to take home and try to sort out our challenges, although I know it will be hard, but at least we have somewhere to begin from.
Leadership at all levels in the country has been quite wanting. So I think I'm very convinced, and listening to both the lectures that were provided, the discussions that were provided, and the things that were coming out of the participants, it leaves me with no doubt that people are living here saying this is something that has really been missing. Knowing what is it that a leader requires? What does it take, to lead and get people following? What does it lead to have vision and have those visions being shared by the people so that they can be implemented? I think this has been extremely great.
The MCAs should also have an opportunity to go through this training. It's very important because it will also help them on dealing with the public and how to give them information, because these days everything we do or we decide, the public has to participate.